Thatcher's aide belittles blue pa.sport as a symbol for nostalgic old people. Charles Powell said the clamor for the old-style travel document was part of the nostalgia on which the predominantly elderly Brexit constituency thrives. Mr. Powell also confirmed that it was Mrs Thatcher government who chose to drop the old blue passport in the 1980s. After a decidedly rocky year for the Prime Minister Theresa May, she had hoped to end it on a positive note by announcing the return of the Navy passports once Brexit was complete and saying it was an expression of independence and sovereignty. Mr. Powell said, "So long as they are content with symbols, rather than substance, I see no harm in letting them have their way." Mr. Powell, who served as private secretary to Thatcher from 1983 to 1990, added, "If we get their agreement to full alignment with the single market in return, it's a good deal." The European Parliament's chief Brexit coordinator, Guy Verhofstadt, wrote on Twitter, "There is no EU legislation dictating passport colour. The UK could have had any passport colour it wanted and stay in the EU." In a later barb, he tweeted a photo of the passport to the European Union booklet, with a blue EU flag on the cover. He wrote, "If we had known in advance that blue was so important to the UK, we could simply have replaced our passports by this one. There is no Brussels regulation which states that EU countries' passports have to be a certain color, simply a non-binding European Council resolution from 1981 which recommends burgundy red." Labour MP for Tottenham David Lammy described the move as embarrassing and claimed, "Brexit is beginning to feel like a huge effort to turn the clock back with some misguided imperial overtones." Scottish First Minister Nicola Sturgeon was another who tweeted that the episode risked further damaging UK's reputation on the world stage, denouncing the return of the navy blue passport as insular, inward-looking, blue passport-obsessed nonsense. Labour MP Chukan Amuna said, "What utter nonsense. This belittles our country and your office." The party's former leader, Ed Miliband, added, "It is an expression of how mendacious, absurd and parochial we look to the world. Remainers have been incensed by the decision to return to the blue passport, but their claim it will cost £500 million has been shot down in flames. The redesign, which routinely happens every 5 years, will come as part of a £490 million contract which also includes printing and assembling passports and runs for 11.5 years. The Prime Minister's Director of Communications Robbie Gibbs said the £500 million figure was fake news that harms our democracy. He said, "Those who would deliberately misrepresent public policy for political gain, be it passports or animal sentience, should be called out." The new design will be phased in after the UK leaves the EU on March 29, 2019. Burgundy passports will continue to be issued, although without the EU markings, until the current supplier's contract expires in October 2019. The government is facing demands from arch Brexiteer Tory MPs Jacob Rees-Mogg and Andrew Bridgen to ensure the new passports are manufactured in Britain.